First, I want to reiterate what a privilege it is to be a part of this Orange Bowl. I mean, the history of this game, the people who have played in this game, the coaches that have coached in this game. I mean, I mean, it's unbelievable when you go back, and I was reading that program before the game. It makes you get queasy in your stomach. And I've been around some big-time ball a lot, but it makes you realize the history of what goes on here. And the hospitality, the way we were treated, the way they did things. And I told everybody, if we could just come halfway, play half as good as the guys that did our motorcade that gets us in and out all day, it wouldn't even been a game. But, I mean, those guys, just everything about the Orange Bowl was first class. Everything they did was unbelievable. Like I said, special thanks to our seniors. Not just for what they did this year, but what they've done for 4 years. The fifth-year guys, I believe this is 58 or 59 wins. I can't remember. The 4-year guys, it's 47 wins, almost 12 a year in both regards. And the history and, to go undefeated against both rivals and win Orange Bowls, win Rose Bowls, win national championships, I mean, that just doesn't happen. And but then the leadership they provided, along with these guys, with Dalvin right here, to keeping this team together at the beginning of the year when people kept asking us, what do we have to play for? Well, this is what you got to play for. To be able to make it to an Orange Bowl, even though you didn't win a national championship, to make it to an Orange Bowl, to play a game like Michigan, to play in an environment like this, to play in an atmosphere like this. And like we said, anytime you keep score, that's what you got to play for. Anytime, we get in that mode, you ain't going to be around here very long. And that's just a tribute to these guys and the way they kept this young team together. Also, it's important, I think, to see how these young guys, for our young guys, to see how to work, how to come back, how to not reach your goals, take some away, take coaching, take leadership of these seniors and juniors and take their game higher. Not get a chip on their shoulder and feel like it was something they say, okay, we got to change. That's hard to do. And also how to handle this environment and this atmosphere, to be able not just to practice, to deal with it all week, to deal with the events and all that. It all goes with playing big-time athletics. And you got to learn to be there and do that, and then playing a game like this and come out like this against an opponent like this. It's amazing. But as we know, nothing comes easy. Nothing comes easy in anything. And we can make it that way. I know that. Daggone. But, sitting there watching that, the legacy these seniors left with the youth and the talent on this team, boy, the future looks good. And I can't be excited and take a couple days off, then I'll be right back on them. Because we got a chance to have a good football team for a while. But very proud of these guys, the character, the quality they are, and I'm blessed to be their coach. Questions?
If we can just have you guys speak into the microphone when you're answering questions, we'll take the first question. Back left.
Jimbo, when that kickoff, when Keith fielded that kickoff, is that in that case, do you want him to take a knee and get the ball out, or did you see him hesitate?
He hesitated, but at 1 yard deep, we always bring it out. You know what I'm saying? If he was 3 or 4 yards deep, we would have. We wanted, he can hit it. And I'm going to tell you, Keith is a guy who I think is going to be a really, really good player. Now, this guy's a really talented guy. He's a young freshman just come along, but, sometimes it takes something like that to get you over the hump, and that was a big, big-time play.
Next question.
Coach Fisher, how much are you going to miss Dalvin now, if and when he leaves? How much are you going to miss him considering what he did today? I know season long.
I was real smart when there was one play drives and he makes 3 guys miss and they score, and that's great coaching, great play calling, And it is. But, I mean, we all know what he does on the field. What I'm going to miss is this right here. What I'm going to miss is watching him in practice talk to the young guys. What I'm going to miss is in the weight room in the summer when he's working harder, like DeMarcus and these guys, his work ethic and his demeanor and the way he changed these guys, and the meetings we had when I would call and say, hey, would you go talk to so-and-so? We gotta get him to do right. Anything I ever ask him to do and the effect he had on his teammates is what I'm truly going to miss.
Coach, you've been saying throughout the year, right here.
Middle of the room, down the aisle.
You've been saying throughout the year big things were coming for Naquan in the future. 2 touchdowns tonight, including that big catch. Talk about what he did.
I mean, I always say this, and I've told him this all the time. He can be whatever he wants to be. He really can. I don't say that about a lot of guys. He has the ability to learn and do that and just keep the poise and composure and the work ethic, which he's learning to do. He is really growing up and playing, and this guy made plays. I mean, you're talking about a 90-some yard touchdown. You're making a catch over, and the guy he made the play on was a pretty well covered. It was a great throw, but he went up and just made a great play, and it shows him what he can be. And I think hopefully what he can be in the future if he will put his nose to the grindstone and take lessons off a 44 and 4 right here and keep that same attitude those guys had. He could be sitting with the same kind of things they have when it's all over with.
Down the aisle in the gray.
Jimbo, right
Yep,
here.
gotcha.
Hey, I think of that play when Dalvin, I think it was 71, 72-yard run. I think he had a 3rd and 22 on that play. Just about the momentum, because it seemed like at that point Michigan was kind of getting it back.
All they did, it was a huge play, and what we did, we had to counter it. And sometimes when you hit gap runs when they want to blitz on 3rd down, or if they get back in zone, and you could account for everybody on that side of the field in gap runs, because they sometimes will play back, and you hit a gap on a 3rd and long and get him in space. That was as good as any protection we had, and to get the ball in his hands somehow, some way. And to me, that was the play right there that turned the second half for us. That got our momentum going. There's no doubt, because we couldn't move it because their defense in the front was doing great. And then, we made some mistakes in special teams. I mean, Nooney made a mistake. We knew that. He came back from that. The big one too was the clip we got, because we'd had the ball then across midfield with 12 minutes, with 8 minutes to go, up 12 points. That changes everything too, because you may have got some points there. We had a kickoff out of bounds. We had some things in special teams that got us. But that's like this team. We always say what. So what, now what? Move on to the next play. So what, now what? Go on to the next play and handle what you have to handle.